Let's talk to John O'Leary and Charlie Redmond. Good morning to you both. Charlie, I might start with you. What's your take? Is this one where Dublin have got out of jail? Or is this one where Kerry are going to feel that they left it behind them? What's your initial reaction now?
I think both teams will think that they left it behind them. I think Kerry gave a performance that I have to say I expected from Kerry, probably a little bit better than a performance than I expected, I should say. But I knew they were going to come with a huge effort and with a huge game plan. And they gave it a great shot, and they had a numerical advantage for nearly 45 minutes of the game. And yes, at the end, when Dublin got the point from being knocked, we had 3 more opportunities to do it, and we missed it. So when you draw a match and kick 3 wides in the last few minutes, you've got to walk away thinking you left it behind you as well.
Yeah, I don't remember as tense a sports event that I've ever been at.
Well, I agree with you. I was up in my seat, I was sitting on my seat, I was under the seat. And it wasn't beside me, but one seat away from me was Owen Liston. He was the exact same. When he was under the seat, I was cheering, and when I was under the seat, it was an incredible experience. And at the end of the game, the two of us shook hands, we hugged, and there was nearly tears in both our eyes. But we both realised we watched a tremendous game of football where everything was left on the field by every member. And thank you to all those lads. It was such a wonderful occasion.
Yeah, we're going to get the Kerry side in an hour's time before anybody accuses us of only reflecting the Dublin side. Don't worry, all you Kerry fans out there. We're going to talk to Kieran Donaghy just after 9 o'clock this morning. But we do also have John O'Leary with us this morning. John, I've got to ask you about Cluxton's performance because when it comes to selecting a man of the match, Cluxton was right up there as well.
Oh yeah, look, he was fantastic. His contribution was great. The penalty saves, and even people were giving out about his kickouts. It was very hard for your man down to get the. To get your kickouts as accurate and have as many options as he might normally have, but didn't mean to save you when he tipped onto the crossbar. Look, he's an incredible performance. Sometimes people just the last couple of games that we just saw him as kickouts only, but like he's really stepped up for the mark in some of the games too with the saves, and he was brilliant yesterday and a great captain.
In previous All-Ireland finals where it was against Mayo, for example, I never actually really felt like the Dubs were going to lose it, John. There was definitely a 10-15 minute period in the second half where it felt like Kerry had managed to get the upper hand here. They'd worked Dublin out and they had the firepower to win the game. Did you feel like it was gone at any stage?
Yeah, I felt it was definitely like, you could feel it was slipping away. I was looking ahead, we're 4 points up. Every time we score a point, that's another extra one they have to get back. But then they got the goal and they had the momentum. And at the end of the day, Dublin had to, battle away and stay in the game with a man less. And when you look back at the results this morning, you think that's an incredible performance. And why you might be disappointed is you didn't play better and pull away. And even as Charlie said, we had 3 chances. But you could look at the other side and Kerry amazingly, he turned the 3 balls over, in the last 3 or 4 minutes there of the match. So it could have gone either way. And I think there's no point in being disappointed. We were a man down for half the match, and they dug it out. We had chances to beat the winners with that, but I think a phenomenal performance by both teams, and I think Dublin in particular, going toe to toe with Kerry, a man down for so long. Yeah,
Charlie, who can play better for Dublin the next day? Like, where would your hope ahead of the replay? Just now, having watched the game yesterday and probably haven't done any significant analysis on it yet, but your gut instinct, who needs to play better for this team?
Well, I think if you look at it, I think Cluxton, obviously McCaffrey, Howard and Rock were our 4 best players yesterday. I think when you look around the park, you can look at everybody else and say, well, I can do a lot better. Yeah, Fenton was probably had one of his quietest games, but that's because his standards are so high, and Paul Mannion likewise. So yes, I think John just alluded to it there, that we've come out of this game, we haven't played well. We didn't play well in a number of positions. We were a man down for 45 minutes, and we still showed an incredible resolve to get a draw over this at the end, albeit when we nearly snatched it from them. So I think we can be relieved and we can be happy, where Kerry can just be happy, because I think Kerry probably will walk away from this thinking they left it behind them. But listen, Kerry are going to come again, and they're going to come on Saturday week with another big game plan, with another big performance, and we knew they were going to come with a big game plan. We've seen them now what they're like on the big day. We've seen how good they are, and we should be forewarned now. And I'm sure Jim and his backroom team are today going to meet up and look at the game, identify their flaws, and work on where they can make it better for the next day.
We were talking earlier on about the strength of the bench and how they don't really have that many defenders on the bench who actually match up that well against the Kerry lads. Is there room for Philly in this team? Is there room for Keane O'Sullivan in this team? What do you think, John?
Yeah, possibly. You can look at individuals and say, well, could someone else have played better? I mean, you look at Philly and O'Sullivan, like their experience would count for a lot. Maybe closing out. I thought yesterday I felt the subs came on a bit late. I just felt there was sort of only 5-6 minutes left when we really sort of started to empty the bench, and maybe with tired legs, I thought Jim might have brought on some of those guys a bit earlier. But defensively, again, a couple of holes here and there. But they did play really well. Again, you can't forget we're a man down, so defending is a lot harder. You have to cover a lot more space all around the pitch. But perhaps, but I wouldn't be doing too much drastic surgery. I think coming into a replay, it's or drawing a match, it's all about the momentum coming out of it. And I remember Charlie, 83, we drew at Cork, and the Ireland semi-final, we were really, really disappointed. But the management quickly turned around, and we had closed that game out and finished the better team and got the draw in the last minute, and felt that we had all the momentum. So it's how you use the momentum of the replay will matter at the end of the day, I think. Yeah,
maybe some changes to the 26. Is there a chance now for Bernard Brogan to perhaps win a place back in the squad?
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, I mean, you look for who could have a couple of more scores again. That's what I thought. Dermot Connolly being on was great, but could have brought him on a bit earlier. You don't get too emotional now and go back to the past. These guys have played well and got us where we are, and again played really well yesterday. To hang in there. So I wouldn't be going too. I wouldn't be coming too emotional yet.
Yeah. Okay. Charlie, all in all, it sounds like after the heart palpitations subsided, you're pretty happy to still be alive in this championship. That's the main thing.
Well, I think when you look at the where we were with 3 or 4 minutes to go, a man down obviously, and that point down, and the effort the guys brought, the intensity they brought to the tackle, as I said, the way they stripped the ball away 3 times from the Kerry guys, and the quality of the guys who they gave out, stripped the ball from, was something else. And when I think when you look at the game in totality, I think you have to be relieved that we're still there. The drive for 5 is still alive. As John said, we probably got out of jail a little bit yesterday. I know we also people left it behind us. But come here, listen, football is football, and I think it was a fair result yesterday, to be honest with you. I know there's been some criticism of the referee in some calls, but by and large I thought he had a good game. It's very hard for someone to get every call right, and he got the majority of them right. Probably one he possibly got wrong, but listen, let he use out Sink cast the first down.
Which one do you think he got wrong?
Well, I thought Thomas Sullivan was very lucky to stay on the field. I thought at that stage it merited another yellow card, which would have meant he was sent off. I think that was the big call he got, and the one he got wrong. But listen, come here, he was closer to the situation than I was, and what everyone around thought it was around me, and over on the other stand thought it was another yellow card. Yeah,
it certainly felt like one on the ground. Again, didn't have the benefit of replays at the time. The red card was fair enough, though.
Yeah, well, I think both of them were the soft yellow. But once he got the soft yellow the first time, it was going to come. Johnny got booked and John Small got booked at the same time, and it was nearly odds on that one of them was going to make a bad tackle by the end of the game and see red. Unfortunately, it came very, very quickly, and it came probably the wrong time for Dublin, just before half time, because it allowed Kerry to readjust more fully in the dressing room, given the time and space they needed to coordinate themselves and choreograph what they wanted to do for the second half. But listen, we can have no complaints. I felt like I was playing yesterday. There was a missed penalty and somebody sent out. I thought, well, talking about me again.
Good stuff, lads. Thanks a million for joining us this morning, and enjoy the 2 weeks extra build-up that we're getting this year. Cheers, lads.
Thanks. Cheers.
It's John O'Leary and Charlie Redmond giving us some thoughts there. Charlie's certainly the most qualified man in the country to talk about an Ireland final where there's been a man sent off and a missed penalty.
Absolutely. Yeah, but it's interesting. It's funny. Obviously you're 24 hours after the event. I didn't hear too many people last week given Kerry out of Kerry, we're doing their usual, we're still Kerry, and there was a bit of that, right? We'll turn up and we'll get up there and everything else, but I think everyone was saying, Dublin, they stay in the process, they have the players. I think there's question marks. There are question marks now. There's a lot of question marks thrown up.
Yeah.
If you're the Kerry management team, you're now saying to yourself, okay, and this was the big thing, and this is why even as I got closer to the game yesterday, I was saying 5-1, 6-1. This is a great bet, because it wasn't like Kerry had an unbelievable defence and had an okay forward line. They have a really, really good forward line and a pretty good defence. And funnily, the forward line didn't really fire for them yesterday. Now, if that forward line really fires, like really gets going, like O'Brien probably had one of his quietest games in a while. Gini didn't score from play.
Yeah, so they could actually put up a 220 score if they want, or not if they want, but like they will feel like that performance should have resulted in 2 goals and 20 points.
Yeah, I think
they scored 116.
Yeah, and I think they had about 50-odd% efficiency, which is low for them. 60 something percent, gets them up to kind of 20. They got 116, 17 scores. You really have to probably be up around the 20, 21 mark to really get it. Now, can Dublin? But I think Kerry, the matchups that Kerry had, they had good matchups in the Dublin defence yesterday. They really did. Like, no one has mentioned Kieran Kilkenny.
So I think
very quiet.
Was he? Because I think that Kilkenny. I saw somebody saying Con was quiet. It was Tommy. I didn't think Con was quiet at all. I thought he gets fouled for a bunch of frees, so the scores don't go for him.
I think O'Callaghan was. I thought he was a threat. He was a threat,
every
especially
time.
The high ball they put in when he held off. I think Thomas Sullivan, but
could have been a penalty as well.
Could have been a penalty, but the Kilkenny was being picked up by Crowley, and actually, to be fair, Crowley did one of his best jobs. He just stuck to him. He just went everywhere with him. So the way he likes to swing across that arc, and he likes to just get on the. He couldn't really get on the ball. He couldn't actually find. So the pressure was obviously so intense on the ball carrier. So because they were matching up 1-on-1. That you haven't got time to go. Oh, where's Kieran? Oh, there he is, and I'll just slip in the pass. So there was lads tackling you. You're kind of he was never obviously open.
I do wonder how much that has to do with the extra man. That like if there's somebody else
in the first, like to be honest, even before he went off, he wasn't massively involved in it. He was okay, but he wasn't. I want
to see that again because I felt like he was influencing the game. He used to score 3 points a game, right? Mm-hmm. Now those 3 points have come out of his game, but he gets another 10 or 12 possessions. I'd like to see the stats for him because I actually thought that of the players in the second half when they needed to take a little bit of the sting out, he was the one who was doing a bit of the
coming around. He did decent. Like, I mean, look, how good he is. Did he give McCaffrey the pass for the goal?
That's a good question.
Last one, where he kind of loops it up ahead of him. It was a beautifully weighted pass. Like he just knew he was coming. And
there was another one for Con in the first half that ends up. I think they get a point off it, where it was almost the same move as the semi-final. It was his pass, and he was kind of waiting. You could see it.
Where they do the backdoor thing. Where he comes and spins and pops it over his head. Yeah. But I don't know, the boys, it's funny to listen to, it's kind of like we'll go again. I'd say I still don't. I know there's questions over Bernard, and I think there's obviously a few calls in some of the papers for him to get back in. I think Gavin won't truck with any of that emotional stuff or any kind of compassion or anything like that. He definitely will not. And on the flip side, or the same way, he won't have any compassion for any fella who just didn't match up to the mark. Like, you can talk about the analysis. They'll analyse the hell out of every player and the amount of balls they gave away and the amount of possessions that the opposite player gets. And you may find that someone gets dropped who we were kind of going, actually, I didn't think he had a bad day. But you just didn't really see it.
Did the 5 in a row and nerves play a part? Is that what got to Johnny Cooper as opposed to it's Clifford? Because
don't think so. No, I think when you're in there, I think it's a personal thing. I'm marking you. I'm not really thinking that if I don't mark you well, I potentially will ruin the history. Yeah, you're not. I'm just going, I need to do my job on you. So maybe if anything, he overanalyzed the fact that he was marking Clifford. And it caused them that little bit of kind of panic to set in. I think I don't like if the drive for 5 was really in their mind. I don't think they would have played as well as they played in that last 7 or 8 minutes because they went for it. They squeezed up.
That's when you choke.
That's when you choke. Yeah, but also Kerry. I just don't think Kerry asked them enough questions that last 7 or 8 minutes. Kerry kind of went, we're 1 up. That's it, lads. Now we just need to settle down and we need to hold on to the ball. And they were begging for trouble. They were asking for trouble. They were playing the ball in their own 30-metre line, and I was going, just move it up the field a bit.
I don't feel like the replay is going to be a walloping at all. I don't think there's any chance of a walloping happening now. I don't think that even if Dublin vastly improve, Kerry will improve to a point where they're going to be in the replay. So that game should give Kerry another opportunity to win it, and you would hope that that's the game. The replay is the one that they remember from this sequence. But if for whatever reason they lose the replay, well, they will always regret not pushing forward at the start of the second half and at the end of the second half. And going, well, we came in here with no hope, according to everybody, and here we are, man up, point up, 5 minutes left to go.
Yeah.
Let's kill them.
Yeah. All they needed was one more. They just needed that insurance point. You know, that's really all they needed, and to face a kick out. Because they could have even squeezed the kick out. And, you know, that long kick out then, as you're getting even more and more tired, is going to be a more difficult task to actually achieve.
Annette Kent wants to know, where's Owen? JD, where's Sheehan? No Sheehan, no accurate analysis.
Nice.
Well, so the last we heard from Owen was he was cheating on us with Radio Kerry at 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon, pre-match.
Oh, lovely.
They cross over after the death notices. It's right, welcome along to the Gresham Hotel here in Tralee. I was like, what? And somebody goes, Jesus, we're not in Tralee. And Owen pretty much straight away goes, we're not here to take part, we're here to take over. I've just come from the bookies where I put 20 quid on Kerry, complaining non-stop about his treatment in work at our hands, going, no, we wouldn't leave him alone, and offering a massive rallying cry for the good people of Radio Kerry.